Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice for radio. So today, we're going to be having a look at a really, really interesting new Pokemon tool card. It is Fairy Charm Ultra Beast. And if you are familiar with the Fairy Charms, we'll talk about them in a minute, you should know what they do. As soon as I say Fairy Charm Ultra Beast, you should be all like, oh, yeah, I know what that does. Oh, I get it. I get it. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, I didn't need a translation for this. Obviously, I checked with David, because, you know, David. But you attach it to a fairy Pokemon, and that fairy Pokemon can then take no damage from Ultra Beast EXs and GXs. Now, at this stage, some of you are probably thinking, yeah, but there's no such thing as an Ultra Beast EX. And you're right. And then you might be thinking, yeah, and also, right, EXs are over. They're not being printed anymore. Since we had the last couple like Dragonite and Slowbro in evolutions, we're not having any more. And you remain absolutely correct. But the thing is, Pokemon have gone with the wording here. And it's brilliant. So something like Choice Band does extra damage to EXs and GXs. It is brilliant, ladies and gentlemen, and it's just using consistent wording and making sure that they're not going to end up with anything weird. No, we're not going to end up with Ultra Beast EXs. There's like a 0.001% chance of that actually happening. And that's okay. I am much, much better with this. Because you know what? The alternative is we go, oh, well, there's no point worrying too much. And then we have something like Garchomp. I adored Garchomp. Garchomp is awesome. For 1 fighting energy, it does 60 damage. And then attaches an energy from the discard. And then for 2 fighting energy, bearing in mind you've just attached one with the first attack, 160 to an EX 80 not. So as soon as GXs came around, it became garbage. Which sucks, because it would have been a really good counter against Zoroark. To be fair, with a strong energy and a Choice Band it was anyway. My point is, this was annoying. And to be fair, we saw the same thing with Bridget, where it could only get 1 EX, but it could get 3 basic GXs, which was clearly silly. Yes, I know there's no such thing as an Ultra Beast EX, and there probably never will be, but Pokemon lately have been really clear on, we are going to have wording to try and avoid silly situations. I am 100% in favour of this. So, these Fairy Charms, we've seen them before, and basically what they do is they give you immunity to a particular type. Although, to be 100% clear, only immunity to EXs and GXs. So we've seen Fighting, Psychic, Dragon, and Grass. Cool. Well, now we've got immunity to Ultra Beast. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, with the format we are in, and the format we are going into, this is instantly better than any of the other Fairy Charms that we've got or are getting. Because if you've got protection from all fighting Pokemon EXs and GXs, then you've got protection from Buzzwole and you've got protection from Lycanroc, and that's pretty much it in terms of the meta as a whole. And yes, I know Buzzwole's an Ultra Beast, he gets stopped by this as well. But if you got protection from Ultra Beasts, it's just dumb. So another one of the Ultra Beasts that's around at the moment is Naganadel. The GX is seeing a bit of play. So you can face down Naganadel with Fairy Charm Psychic and you're fine. And you can face down Buzzwole with Fairy Charm Fighting and you're fine. But you can't face down both of them. And then sooner or later your opponent's going to come up with something like a Stack Attacker and actually attack with it. Okay, yeah, good point, they're not. But actually, Duskmane Necrozma. Duskmane Necrozma does see a lot more play. Now, the non-GX Duskmane Necrozma, awesome. Yeah, that's just going to go right through you. Because it's not an EX or a GX, and this only protects you from EXs or GXs. But it also doesn't hit particularly hard, It needs free energy to do 100 damage. Free energy is quite a lot, to be perfectly blunt with you. So if you put this on a Sylveon GX, for instance, yeah, they can do 120 with the first attack. That's quite annoying. But if instead you go put it on something like a Wigglytuff, now you can't do anything until you've got free energy on there. Because it can only hit 60 with the first attack to an EX or a GX. And a lot of the time that's going to be your token non-GX attacker. Remember, it only blocks EXs and GXs, but between Naganadel, Buzzwole, and the other big one, which is going to be Blacephalon, yeah, this is absolutely fine, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think we should be particularly worried that there's not many relevant Ultra Beasts around at the moment. Ultra Beasts are seeing a lot of play. And, if we look at the top 8 of the Champions League Tokyo, we actually, and this was a 1,300 person tournament where essentially Lost Thunder was legal, we see that there are 3 Buzzwole decks, and there's an Ultra Necrozma deck, and there's a Blacephalon deck. That's actually a significant proportion of the meta. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned Ultra Necrozma is also seeing quite a lot of play in Malamar decks, and that's going to be blocked here as well. And again, we have a Fairy Charm Dragon. There is a Fairy Charm Dragon that can block attacks from Ultra Necrozma GX. But firstly, there's no charm that blocks Blacephalon, which pretty much is the only relevant one that doesn't have a charm that blocks it. And also, this one blocks Blacephalon and Buzzwole and Naganadel and Ultra Necrozma. And look, there's plenty of non-GXs around like Naganadel, like Duskmane Necrozma, that it won't be blocking. But they're not amazing attackers. Naganadel is played in Blacephalon decks, but it's only to get energy on the board so Blacephalon can smash. Naganadel can attack, but let's say you've got something like a Wigglytuff out, Naganadel's doing 80 damage. It's not particularly impressive. Now, I know your opponent can use a Field Blower to get rid of this, and they can. And if they play a Field Blower, fine. But they ain't going to have a Field Blower every single turn. And to be honest with you, just play Oranguru. Now, if they're playing it as well, this could backfire. But you play Oranguru, wait till your opponent's out of Field Blower, and then resource management 3 of these, and then attach them, and then kind of sit there laughing. This is a proper game-winning card. And don't get me wrong, all the other Fairy Charms were as well. But the problem is, with all the other Fairy Charms, they were only good against some decks, so you kind of wanted to play all of them and then you didn't have room in your deck and it's a bit awkward. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we're in a much better position because, honestly, in the post-Lost Thunder format, it looks a lot like Ultra Beasts are going to be wrecking. And don't get me wrong, right? In Buzzwole decks, they're probably going to have a Lycanroc. And Lycanroc's not an Ultra Beast, so they can hit you. Nothing to stop you playing a Fairy Charm fighting, but let's face it, it's probably not going to happen. You're probably not going to be playing all of them. And Blacephalon decks can attack with non-GX Naganadel. And Naganadel Stack Attacker decks can attack with the non-GX Duskmane Necrozma. But all of these are suboptimal attackers in the deck. They are attackers the deck is not trying to use, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly my point. Best case scenario, you completely wall your opponent out of the game and guarantee the win. Worst case scenario, your opponent has to play their deck in a suboptimal manner, and that's brilliant for you. Either way, this is working out quite nicely for you. I'm a fan of the Fairy Charms, and the Fairy Charms have been seeing some play in Japan. But make no bones about it, I strongly believe this is the best one by quite a large margin. I'm giving it 4 Wassies. And I think any of these fairy decks, like Sylveon in the future, really are going to be loving these. And I think Ultra Beast, the Fairy Charm Ultra Beast, really is the best one of the lot. It can wall a bunch of decks. And I don't think it's going to instantly wall decks and win games that often. but I think what it's going to do is force your opponent to be attacking with the non-GX Naganadel, but it takes 3 turns to accelerate the energy on, so once you've knocked 1 or 2 of them out, your opponent's basically out the game. I really like this. I was not expecting this card. I think it's awesome, but I want to know what you think. So please do let me know in the comments section. Go nuts, ladies and gentlemen, but please do remember the rules. Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves. Until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.